WABC.
One man has a talk show on 77 WABC, and that man's name is...
It's Dominic Carter. I am him.
And with us now, Dominic Carter.
Nice to be with you, Dominic.
It gets better.
You need to talk to Dominic Carter.
It's about to go down.
This is Dominic Carter, everybody.
On Talk Radio 77 WABC.
And good morning, good Friday morning. Dominic Carter here with you, Talk Radio 77 WABC. It's important that I set this up because it's unbelievable. With all of this horrible news about migrants, all of the disgusting news of crimes involving migrants, the head of the House Progressive Chair. She's the chair of the Progressive Caucus, Priscilla Jayapal. And she was on with MSNBC host Joy Reid. And guess what they have to say? That all of this talk about migrant crime, that it is fear-mongering. Listen to this, folks.
A lot of fear mongering.
There's a lot of fear mongering. This is one of the reasons that people have these sort of thinking. Here's the three cable networks reporting of this. Was our banner said soon Biden announces legal protections for undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens. CNN's banner said Biden announces new protections for some undocumented spouses. Here was Fox's banner: migrant arrested for raping 13-year-old New York City.
Yes,
and so I think that's part of the problem, right?
Exactly.
Is that you have
That's
a lot
of
of fear mongering.
Exactly.
You hear the Congresswoman actually start to laugh at the mention of the rape of the 13-year-old girl here locally. So now let's set this all up. Authorities in Houston, you've heard this story by now. Houston, Texas, say 12-year-old Jocelyn Nagari was found dead in a creek, 12 years old. Investigators say she was raped and strangled. Houston police released surveillance photos showing Jocelyn's last moments alive. Nearly all of the protesters who were charged occupying Columbia University's Hamilton Hall during the anti-Israel protests, you probably already knew this was coming, have had their cases dismissed. The staff of District Attorney Alvin Bragg, surprise, surprise, say they can't identify them. But this, as Bragg has been deluged with death threats. That's wrong. Racial harassment. That's wrong. Since Trump's hush money trial conviction. Former President Trump calling the mother of Rachel Morin, who was ruthlessly raped and murdered by an illegal migrant from El Salvador, the 37-year-old mother of five. 37-year-old mother of five. Her grieving mother says she was deeply touched, that's a quote, by Mr. Trump's honest companion as compared to the Biden administration. We will let you hear what she had to say on the Fox News channel. And also, New York Squad member Jamaal Bowman. It's amazing what a primary can do when it's right around the corner, is finally apologizing for denying the rape atrocities Hamas committed on October 7th. So when police commanders are on the verge of tears, you know it's bad. Houston, Texas. What is it going to take? What is it going to take to understand Trump is correct about the illegal migrant situation? Deport them. 800-848-WABC, 800-848-9222. Police identify the 12-year-old girl found dead in a creek. 2 migrants charged with her murder. She was raped, strangled to death, and later found in a creek. Houston, Texas. The acting police chief, you're about to hear him, his name Larry Satterwhite. He says it was a horrible scene. This is what he had to say.
On Monday, the mayor and I and our homicide stood in front of you and asked for and delivered some really tragic news of a little girl who was tragically murdered. And we asked for your help. Her name was Jocelyn Nungary, and she was 12 years old. We started to work, and we've been working around the clock since that time, trying to find out what happened to her and who was responsible and to get them off the street. I want to thank our homicide team, our North Belt crime suppression teams, our gang division, our SWAT team, and Metro PD, who all came together as we looked for this, for the guys that did this, the suspects in this horrible murder. And we were all out there.
And again, 12 years old. And one of the suspects was released into the U.S. just weeks ago. The police official continued with his description of the situation.
I have heard Representative Bowman deny the October 7th sexual violence in speeches. Why? Asked the listener.
And immediately when the UN provided additional evidence.
Now, obviously, folks, that's the wrong soundbite. That's what you just heard was Congressman Bowman. We'll let you hear that in a little bit, but we want to go to slide number 3, in which the police official in Houston, Texas, continued describing the situation.
And the teams were out there, and they were scouring every potential video feed, and they were talking to everybody possible that might have seen something or heard something. And their hard work paid off, because we were able to find video and trace the movements of our suspects and of Jocelyn, and all the way to the point of where she was murdered and left in a bayou in the water.
I don't know what to say, folks. You let these monsters into the country, and now you see what's happening. Oh, I'm a victim. I'm afraid. I'm fearing for my safety. I need to go to America. They're raping our daughters and killing them. Our young daughters. It is very hard to believe that a presidential administration would permit this to happen. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, nearly all of the protesters who were charged with occupying Hamilton Hall at Columbia during those disgusting anti-Israel protests have had their cases dismissed. Critics are stating it's turnstile justice. And that's coming from Michael Nussbaum, a 25-year member of the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York. This is a green light for chaos, a green light for destroying property. Should not happen. Absolutely should not happen. So outrage as Bragg's office drops nearly all cases from Columbia University's anti-Israel protest. Meanwhile, what's also happening with Bragg, and this part is not right. It's not right. And I see one of the calls, Larry from Brooklyn, says I'm cutting him too much slack. I don't think so, but we'll deal with that in just a second. But Bragg has been deluged with death threats, racial harassment since Trump's hush money trial conviction. Some horrible things directed towards the Manhattan District Attorney. It's not right, folks, and it shouldn't happen. Former President Donald Trump calling the mother of Rachel Morin, who was ruthlessly raped and murdered by a migrant, this one from El Salvador, the 37-year-old mother of 5. And her grieving mother says she's deeply honored by Mr. Trump's honest compassion, compared to the Biden administration. She appeared on the Fox News channel, and this is site number 5.
Have you heard from any official in the Biden administration about your daughter and your loss?
No, ma'am. No one's contacted me personally, and as far as I know, no one has reached out and contacted anybody in the family.
Well, what's your message to President Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, his DHS secretary, Rachel's name not used, her life not recognized? What's your message tonight to them?
My message is that these are American citizens. These are the people that help to strengthen our country. These are the men and women that keep our country going, our economy going, our families, our churches. This is the backbone of America, us, Americans. And to not even acknowledge that my daughter is a person, or that she's a female, or that she's a mother, like to categorize her as a statistic, is just, it just shows how impersonal that they are.
It's callous.
And it also shows, yes, and how they don't value life.
Don't value life. Oh, I almost, folks, don't know what to say. And that's an appearance that she made on the Fox News channel. She claims, the mother, that she still has not heard from the Biden administration. Guess who's apologizing now? Guess who's sorry now? Don't be sorry now. Stand by your conviction, squad member, Congressman Jamaal Bowman. Bye-bye. You are the weakest link. You are about to lose your primary. Bye-bye. One less squad member is a good thing for the world. He's apologizing for denying the rape atrocities that Hamas committed on October 7th. It's not going to be enough to save him, but the embattled squad member Jamaal Bowman is apologizing this week, and you're going to hear this right now. He appeared on WNYC radio with a colleague of mine, Brian Lair. Brian and I go way back. We've done many debates together that I moderated. And why don't you form your own opinion listening to the congressman and Congressman Bowman? Bye-bye. Take a listen, folks.
I have heard Representative Bowman deny the October 7th sexual violence in speeches. Why? Ask the listener.
And immediately when the UN provided additional evidence, I voted to condemn the sexual violence. I apologize for my comments. And now we're continuing to do the work to fight sexual violence and domestic violence in all its forms. We've been doing that since we've gotten into Congress with local organizations here in the district. And so as soon as I got the additional information from the UN, we condemned the sexual violence. We voted to condemn it, and we're continuing to do the work. And I think that's representative of the kind of person I am and the kind of representative I have tried to be. I am not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say things that, harm people, even though I don't mean to. And when I do, I'm going to take accountability for it. I'm going to own it. I'm going to take accountability for it because I want to learn and grow and be the best representative I can be. That's who my mother raised me to be. That's who I was as an educator, and that's who I am now.
Isn't it interesting when our backs are against the wall? We can see the light of day clearly. I can see clearly now. I can see. And we all make mistakes, but bye-bye, Congressman Bowman. One less squad member is a good thing for the world. One by one, It may take some time, but one by one, bye-bye. Let's start with your telephone calls. Larry in Brooklyn. Good morning, Larry. You're on 77 WABC.
Yeah, hi, Dominic. Let me disabuse you of the notion that you, Dominic Carter, are going to lead us to the promised land by waxing moralistic about Alvin Bragg's ass and saying it's wrong to threaten a man who has blood on his hands, okay? Just because he didn't wield the knife or the hammer or the gun, okay, he still has blood on his hands. Why are you protecting this animal? I'm happy he's being threatened. Yes, I am, and I think that
whoa. You're happy that he's being racially threatened and that his life is being threatened, and he's a public official, and no matter what, you may not like his policies. It is against the law to carry out threats or to threaten a district attorney. You do understand that, Larry, right?
It's against the law not to fulfill the requirements of your office, which is what he's doing. He's breaking the law.
No. That's what you and I feel. That he's not fulfilling his duties. That's what you and I feel. It's not a fact. If you talk to him, he will tell you he's doing exactly what he promised to do during the campaign. So what you're stating is that's an opinion that you and I share. And frankly, I would say not
oath of office, and he's violating his oath.
Larry, listen, Larry, I agree with you. But if you talk to a supporter of the man, they will tell you he's doing exactly what he promised to do. I agree with you, but that still does not make it right to racially threaten him. Please tell me you don't approve of that.
Dominic, we are
answer the question. Do you approve of a district attorney being racially threatened? Yes or no?
Dominic, sometimes you ever hear me?
Larry, so you agree? Listen, man up. If you think it's cool for him to be racially threatened, say it.
Okay?
If you think it's okay for him to be racially threatened, say it.
I think any bad thing that happens to Alvin Bragg is a good for society. Okay?
Come on, Larry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mean that.
I disdain the man. You know what he did? He dropped charges against this Jewish. So a Jewish kid got his finger broken at the Columbia protest. He dropped the charges against the woman who hit him with a stick. She just has to take 2 anger management courses. He goes after who he wants to go after, and he drops who he wants to drop again. He sets himself up as the moral authority. If he above the laws of New York State, if he could do that, I could set myself up above your version of morality and say that I'm happy that anything that bad befalls that man, I'm happy about. Yes, I can do that.
Thank you for the call. I'm disappointed in you, Larry. To state that you approve of someone being racially harassed is disgusting. I may, and thank you for the call again, I may agree with you that Bragg is not doing his job, but to mail the man horrible things in the mail, he has a family. And it's not right. If you don't like him, vote him out. Vote him out of office. That's the way to handle this. But to sign off on racially harassing the first black district attorney, that is wrong. And it is beneath you, Larry. Let's go to David in Brooklyn. Good morning, David. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. My question is the Democratic game plan to replace the black vote that's going Republican with migrants coming through the Mexican open border that began as soon as Joe Biden became president almost 4 years ago?
No, that's not what it is. The plan is, as some of you say, I don't necessarily agree with this, but as some of you say, it's to increase the Democratic voting rolls, and I say it's a strong play to the left to benefit progressives and to appease them so that they will feel energized to turn out the Democratic vote. That's what I think is going on. David, thank you for the call in Brooklyn. George, line 4, New York City. Good morning, George. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Listen, now, Dominic, the problem is going to be hectic for President Trump to try and get rid of these evil ones, specifically the evil, as well as in general the illegal entrance into this once wonderful country. It would be tough because the acceptors, who would be the governments who emptied their prisons and mental institutions and got rid of them, are not going to be willing to accept them. However, he could impose harsh penalties and sanctions, vis-a-vis those countries that refuse to take them back.
It's not going to be hard at all. I don't even know why you're saying that, George, because you just answered your own point. Through diplomacy, through backdoor communications that may include money to these countries, they will be forced to take back their animals. And if they don't take them back, you drop them at the nearest point, but get them out of America. No, it's nothing to laugh about. It's nothing to laugh about, George. I understand you're making light of the point, but our daughters are being raped and murdered, and it's unacceptable. Right. George, thank you for the call. Let's go to Greg in Hawthorne, New York. Good morning, Greg. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Hey, thank you for taking my call, Dominic. I agree with a lot of what Larry is saying. I mean, it's just, if you care about the quality of life and you care about justice and you care about people, you don't want to see these bad things happen and go unpunished. It's horrible. What Larry said about the morality of it, that Alvin Bragg has put himself where he can decide who to prosecute and who to let go free. Wait, Greg.
Yeah. Greg. No, it's not. Yeah. That's what every district attorney in the country does. They decide which crimes to prosecute. Well, I mean, I don't know why you guys are saying this.
Like
every district. Wait, Greg. Every district attorney in America, they decide which cases go forward, which ones do not. That's simply the bottom line.
Does it look like equality to you? Are people getting treated the same way? The guy with the bodega gets arrested for defending himself, and people who commit violent crimes get let off with a desk appearance, a court appearance.
I agree
fair?
with you. I agree with you. But you're talking about two separate issues. Every district attorney in America decides which cases go forward and which ones don't.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say to you. And I'm also stating that if we don't like Bragg and I don't like his policies and he's got to go, then vote him out of office. But to send the man death threats and racially harass him, I would hope that 99.9% of this audience would say that's not right. What is your position on that, Greg?
I don't think any of us is going to be the one to go put the bell around the cat's neck. I don't think any of us is going to do it, even if we wish we wanted to do that. I'm going to leave it at that. But, I want to give a recommendation to everybody out there. These guys have phone numbers, and I call their phone numbers. I call Schumer's phone number, and I leave them comments on the comment line. I've done it with AOC. I've called the White House comment line. I've called the Department of Justice and told them how crooked they all are and how they should step down from their office, not the FBI, but the top brass. They need to go. They need to step down. They need to go away with their tail between their legs and be banished from their offices. It's despicable.
Fair enough.
What they're doing. What are you going to do? You have a daughter, right? What are you going to do when somebody attacks your daughter the same way Jocelyn was attacked? Are you going to go crazy when this happens? Can you predict how you're going to how insane that'll make you?
I don't understand, Greg. I don't understand the comparison that you're making right now.
All right. Well,
I don't get it. What you're saying
is if they can do this, if this kind of stuff can happen to Jocelyn, this kind of injustice, these immigrants coming in and they're letting prisoners out of the prisons in other countries and shipping them over here, and that we've caught terrorists coming over the border. We've got China infiltrating. It's time to scream about it. It's time to scream.
Okay. Well, we collectively we
Call
can
their phone
scream,
numbers.
Greg.
Call their phone numbers.
And I support that. I saw deludes their telephone numbers.
Use your First Amendment right. To shame them. Shame them.
I agree. I agree with you on that point. But
know the name Jocelyn.
And I agree with you on that. But to racially harass the man and send him death threats is not right, and it's against the law.
I don't endorse.
And those that engage in it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't endorse the racial threats. Because when you have an argument, you present your argument and you present it in a civil way. And racism doesn't accomplish anything. All it does.
Well, we agree on that. I share your outrage. Believe me.
Yeah,
I share your outrage.
Yeah. But
any parent in that situation.
You know the statement, all that's possible for evil to prevail is good people do nothing. It's time for the good people to stand up and start screaming more. Rage, show their rage at the unacceptability, the unacceptable and the tolerance of all this BS going on. We need to band together and scream at these, call their office numbers and shame them at every chance we get. Use your First Amendment right, America. And
fair enough.
Smart.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, vote smart. Greg, thank you for the call. Let's go from Hawthorne to Staten Island. Good morning, Frank. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Oh, hi. Good morning. Yeah, I'm calling about Jamaal Bowman. I did see him debate Mr. Latimer, and he's just so terrible. He's such a dummy. The way he talks and everything he did. And, but when he pulled the fire alarm and he denies that there's any violence and rape to the Israeli people.
I agree with you on the stupidity of the fire alarm, but I don't know if I would call a school principal stupid. But go ahead.
It's the way he talks, the way he acts. He's very educated, I guess, to be a principal. But there's going to be a rally for him this Saturday in the Bronx with AOC and Bernie Sanders. So all the three communists will be together, and they will be there, and then the leftists will come out. I believe there should be a counter-protest to this rally in the Bronx with Trump supporters and Jewish people.
Well, fair enough. As long as there's not violence, I would support such a move because Bowman has got to be called out and his days are numbered in Congress. Bye-bye. Frank, thank you for the lovely call. Let's go to Russ in White Plains. Good morning, Russ. What's on your mind?
Well, Dominic, I'd like to point out that the caller, Larry, has a criminal nature. He's a criminal type of person, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sent a few letters like that. At least the other caller, Greg, draws a line at racial threats, that just making threats is okay. But I'd like to point out empty barrels make the most noise. People who call you and issue threats and about physical violence are the least likely to do it, and they're the ones that run away from the sound of gunfire. But, Dominic, I really do think there's a concentration on the migrant issue. And I really don't want to go into it, but I think they're the ones that are being pimped out.
Wait. And I appreciate the fact, Russ, that you're trying to watch your words and you don't want to offend anyone. I appreciate that. Oh. But I do ask you this. How could you say that? Well, one, you said Larry has a criminal nature. I don't know what that means. But two, you said that there's a concentration basically on covering these migrant issues. We don't get to the headlines. Some of these migrants, some of these animals are raping little girls, strangling them, and dumping them into creeks or leaving them in a park. Talking about when I felt comfortable halfway through the rape, I started to record it. Come on, man. That's not a contra. How do we ignore this? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, it's the emphasis, Dominic. And the caller, Jeff, who's now part of your promo, I think he's very proud of being part of your promo. He says that you emphasize that the criminals who are black are somehow worse than the white criminals. That's wrong for him to say that about you, but you're picking that up. But it's the same as saying...
Wait. One more. Wait, Russ, I don't understand what you're talking about. You just said a promo. Maybe a new promo's been cut that I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
The caller, Jeff, who said that you want to be black or something.
Oh, okay. White. That Jeff. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, he must be laughing and enjoying it more than anything. I wish I had a promo.
Wait, why would he be laughing? I don't understand.
Because his opinion is being rebroadcast and rebroadcast. I mean, it's your response that is good, but what he's trying to say is that he wonders why you emphasize criminals who are black when there are plenty of criminals who are white, and there are plenty of criminals who aren't migrants.
Okay. So wait, Russ. So I'm late for a break, right? But no, Russ, you still with me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, why am I? We're gonna go to SOT 1, and I was gonna play this, and I'll play it again later. I want you to listen, Russ, to the Juneteenth celebration in Oakland, California, which ended in a mass shooting. And guess what? All of the people, that's the best way to say this. You know the race of all the people that were involved, don't you?
Well, not everybody, but
okay. Russ, listen to this, please.
Okay. No, they shooting at each other. Get out. Where's my brother? Oh, hell no.
Now, Russ, everybody in that crowd looked just like me. And you're telling me that's okay?
You mean a handsome person with a doctorate?
Oh, thank you.
Come on.
Well, you think that's okay?
No, everybody now feels that they have to defend themselves, and weapons are everywhere. That's the problem.
I don't see as many other races pulling out guns as compared to what happened in Oakland. This, after all, was a Juneteenth celebration. What happened to the celebration? It was gunshot fire.
I don't understand Juneteenth anyway, but that's for another conversation. But I'm telling you, people are armed because they feel the police can't defend them, and you kind of that.
So that's why the gunfire rang out, right? Hey, yeah. Russ, I'm late for a break. Dominic. So thank you for the call, folks. Let me just take a break, and we'll regroup. We'll come right back, and of course, coming up, 45 minutes past the hour, the Chronicles of Dominic Carter. You'll hear that soundbite again. And coming up also as well at 1 a.m., Frank Morano and the Other Side of Midnight.
Talk Radio 77 WABC.
This is Greg Kelly for Priority Gold. What does it mean to be America's precious metals dealer? It means that you're in touch with the hearts and minds of those who love this country, value our freedom, and want to protect the future. Priority Gold is that precious metals dealer. They've helped thousands of Americans back their retirement with solid gold and silver. Call Priority Gold at 888-506-6439. Receive free shipping, free storage, a free investment guide, and one of the best purchase experiences in the industry. Call now or go to PriorityGold.com.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Get ready to zoom into some serious cash with Zoom Ball every Wednesday in June. Win up to $500,000. 1 point equals 1 entry. 2 lucky winners will be drawn at the top of every hour from 1 to 5 p.m. to play Zoom Ball. Discover the excitement at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 877-8-HOPE-NY or text NY.
Talk Radio 77 WABC.
This is Dominic Carter, everybody.
On Talk Radio 77 WABC.
And we are back. Authorities in Houston, Texas, the migrant crime issue it just seems like it's getting way out of control. 12 years old, Jocelyn Nagare was found dead in a creek. She was raped and strangled. 12 years old. This young girl hasn't even started to live her life. And these animals, 2 arrested in that case. Nearly all the protesters who were charged with occupying Columbia University's Hamilton Hall during those anti-Israel protests have had their cases dismissed. Surprise, surprise. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office says they can't identify them. Bragg has been hit with a lot of death threats, racial harassment since Trump's hush money trial conviction. That is wrong. Get rid of the man. You don't like his policies. I don't like what he's been doing. Get rid of him. But no on the racial threats. No on the death threats. Former President Donald Trump calling the mother of Rachel Morin, who was ruthlessly raped and murdered by an illegal migrant from El Salvador. Of course, she's the 37-year-old mother of 5. The grieving mom stating she's deeply touched by Trump's honest compassion when he spoke to her. New York Squad member Congressman Jamaal Bowman finally apologizing for denying the rape atrocities committed by Hamas on October 7th. Gracie, Rockland County. Good morning, Gracie. What's on your mind?
Good morning. I love that. Listen, the first thing is, I know there's not an answer. The word you did say, but he didn't flesh it out. Concentration. What does Russ mean by concentration? I'm not going to even speculate. I thought, obviously, my thought is too much reporting if the migrants do these terrible things to people. That's what too much concentration. Maybe we shouldn't know about it, so we won't be biased against them. But of course we are, because what they're doing is terrible. That's number one. Now, also Bragg was mentioned. I looked him up a while ago. I just wanted to know his background. Number one, he's a Harlem boy, but he must have been smart because he went to the private Trinity, so he must have gone on scholarship, because my goddaughter went, because we're Bronx people. They lived in Manhattan. My goddaughter went to Trinity. Okay, from there, you know where he went to undergrad? Harvard. He graduated in 95, but he didn't graduate from law school, Harvard, till 99. So I don't know if he took 4 years for law school or he took a gap year. Now, why I'm interested is my son graduated from Harvard in 99. So I put a call into him just now because I just remembered that I didn't ask him when I saw him if he remembers him and if he, what kind of a person he was and whatever, and what radicalized him, which I think he radicalized. But because there were professors there that were obviously, left of center, obviously. But even Dershowitz, who I have a picture with my husband, me, and my son, and Dr. Dershowitz at the law school graduation, and I do treasure it. All right? So I know they're radicals there. But what made him a radical? Now, I wonder if he figured that was the path to go, that he would get more ahead that way.
They all realize it that way, Gracie. I got to wrap it up in a second because I have a lot of calls.
You. Goodbye.
But wait, you don't have to say goodbye just yet, Gracie. But they all have realized the path to the promised land is to tell minorities what they want to hear. They get the minority vote and they're elected. And that's what Bragg did.
But look at you.
I'm not in public office.
No, I know, but I know Dr. Carter and the judge. The African American judge. He went to Yale. He was a little bit of a hippie. You know what I mean? But
I'm a different breed, Gracie. And thank you for the call. I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not going to pander to people. I'm going to tell them the truth. And there are a lot of things that the first thing I would say, and I say this with love, the first thing I would say to my community is that the excuses are over. If you act up, my police will act up. It's that simple. And to all of you race hustlers, I would tell them on day one, I hope you made enough money because your day is over. Your day of pimping poor black people It's done. Your day of pimping people that don't know any better, it's over. Finito. You are done in this city. Now, maybe you can go into another line of work. Maybe you can open a nonprofit, but you will not continue to pimp people that don't know any better. And they're turning to you for help, and you're leading them down a disgusting path. Every civil rights leader in New York, I know how they live on a personal level. I know the things that they don't want you to know. I know everything there is about them. I know about the mistresses. I know about the girlfriends. I know the whole story on every single one of them. I don't talk about it, but I know. Let's go to Susan in New York. Good morning, Susan. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Well, Dominic, I just wanted to say, besides all these terrible immigrant criminals that are slaughtering our lovely, innocent children, that now we also really must be aware that the house invasions where they're kidnapping teenagers, like in Indiana, where 5 of them invaded a house, got a 14-year-old girl, took her to Missouri on the way to California, where they were going to make her into a sex slave. This was found out, but let's just really talk about all this and get the truth out, because we're not hearing it, and our little babies, our children are being, they're so at risk. We got to really get our antennas up, darling.
Well, I hear you, and Susan, I all of this could have been avoided and prevented. All of this is being done for votes and to play to the left. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the presidential debate, because Trump is going to bring it. This is going to be one of his top issues. Biden is going to poo-poo the issue and try and move on to something else, to pivot away. Susan, thank you for the call. Folks, we are going to take a break. When we come back, the Chronicles of Dominic Carter and more of your telephone calls. We will be right back.
WABC.
This is the news and talk station of New York with Dominic Carter.
How do we keep guns off our streets?
Real New York 77 WABC. These are the Chronicles of Dominic Carter on 77 WABC.
Folks, I want you to listen again to what happened in Oakland, California, the Juneteenth celebration. This, as the mayor's home, she's facing a recall effort over out-of-control crime. The FBI paid her a little visit and raided her home. But this is what happened on the streets of Oakland. Again. No one wants to tell the truth. Nobody wants to call this what it is. What happened in Oakland. The white community goes, well, we can't say anything, and what, it happens, and things are out of control, but we can't say anything because we don't want to be called racist, and we don't want to be called racist, and we don't want to be called that racist. And then the black community goes, yeah, some of us are dysfunctional, but don't say anything about it. Dominic, don't say anything about it on the radio. You're one of us. You're supposed to protect us. You're not supposed to say anything. I'm going to call it out, folks. That's what I'm going to do. This is Oakland, California, the Juneteenth celebration.
No, they shooting at each other. Shot. Where's my brother? Oh, hell no.
So you tell me what that is. I mean, Dominic, don't say anything, Dominic. You know, you came from the hood, and you know you're one of us. And if you say something, you're selling out. You're selling out. Newsflash: the world can see what's going on. Whether I call it out or not, the world can see what's going on. I'm looking at my Twitter, at my X. And I have to be honest, it's a little hard to see. I had eye surgery a few weeks ago, and I think this doctor has to give me some glasses, so it's very hard to see it. But Patrice Logan says, "Hi, Dom. Where are the women? The so-called Me Too movement protesting what's happening to all these girls getting raped and killed, young, innocent girls." Irish Today says to me, "The chronicles of Russ are getting old. Let's put him on ice for a few weeks. Need fresh talent on the calls." Folks, I'm so glad you said that. I'm going to come back to Irish Today in just 1 second. DMS, she says, Larry, talking about Larry from Brooklyn, has seriously gone around the bend. Just yesterday, he remarked to Rita that sex was a natural impulse to men. Sorry, I know you don't want your show, I guess, to involve other programs, but it was so outrageous that he argued with Rita when she put his feet to the fire. Okay, so Irish Today says, new callers. Folks, don't complain to me about new callers. Call. Don't get mad at me because some of these people, they know to start calling me before the show begins. They know how to get through, how to keep calling. You cannot give a 1% effort out of 100 and then complain that new callers don't get through. I will gladly take your calls. Gladly. But you have to call. It starts with that. So Irish Today, call. Don't complain. Call. Don't complain. Call. Santiago in the Bronx, good morning. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Hey, good morning, Dominic. Hey, just so you know, I'm a first-time caller.
There we go.
And I just got through, so I'm a perfect example of that. I listen every night, but that aside, I just wanted to mention to you that we were talking about Alvin Bragg and voting. You keep saying vote him out, vote him out. You're absolutely right. It's not the problem of just voting. Well, voting him out is important. He only won by 211,000 votes in the borough of Manhattan. And the last time that I checked, the borough of Manhattan has at least 2.5 to 3 million people who reside there. Where are the voters? So sarcastically speaking, we have a poor Democrat leadership problem. But at the same time, even bigger than that, we got a voting problem. Where are all the voters? Either we're not getting the message out that this guy was bad news to begin with, or something, or people are watching the NBA finals or not giving a crap or anything. You got to go out to vote. Where's the message to go out to vote? This guy was bad news from the beginning, and he only won. I'm looking at Ballotpedia right now. He only won by 211,686 votes. Where are the people?
And you're right. And hey, Santiago, don't be a stranger. Please call in the future because you're making valid points. There's apathy when it comes to voter turnout, and then people do what they do. Oh, it's raining. I don't feel like voting. I don't feel good. My stomach hurts. I've got to deal with my child. I've got to cut the lawn. I'll vote the next time. And then you want to complain to me for the next 4 years. And like Santiago's point, that's what I say to people. When you come up to me complaining, just so that you know, the first thing I'm going to turn around and ask you is, did you vote? Well, the alligator bit me on the arm. The snake came out the sink and the snake curled up at me and I froze and I stood there for 5 hours. So I didn't vote. That's what it sounds like to me, folks. That's what it literally sounds like to me. Ilona, Westchester County. Good morning. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC. Ilona, are you with me?
Yes. Happy.
Ilona, are you there? Okay, it looks. Maybe we can correct Ilona. Let's go to Steve in Whitestone. Steve, what's on your mind?
Well, I noticed that it took the people of Corona to find this individual who was involved in that rape situation over by Casino Park. And yet, I live right near Casino Park, and I noticed that there were about 50 cops out there for about 4 days. What were they doing looking in the park? Constantly around the park, and a lot of them were wearing white shirts, which means that they were above the level of sergeant. And why did it take the people of Corona to find this guy? And the question is,
Steve, but Steve, you know they have to flood the park so that the public can see it, so that the public feels safe.
That's exactly. The public feels so safe. But why didn't they flood Corona? Why weren't they looking around there? They had enough information that he was definitely in Queens. I don't know what they were doing, sir, but it really troubles me. I just thank God that none of the gentlemen who actually were able to find this guy were not arrested themselves, because they did happen to rough him up. But I noticed that the officers did take this individual over to Elmhurst Hospital to be looked at in the emergency room, just to make sure he wasn't sufficiently injured to bring charges against the people.
That's not why they bring him to the hospital. It's standard operating procedure. Yeah. It's standard operating procedure. If there's been violence, it's standard operating procedure that they have to take you to the hospital. Thank you for the call, Steve. We have Ilona in Westchester back. Let's go to Ilona. Good morning. What's on your mind?
Yes, hi. I'll try again. You can hear me, correct?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a child psych nurse. That's one of the jobs I've done. And I am very worried about these kids. What is a 12-year-old girl doing? Is she by herself? Because you've got to stop that, okay? I've always been pro, be with your kids. Don't let them go out by themselves. 12 years old is too young.
Okay, Ilona, wait. Let's stop right there. So you're honestly saying that a 12-year-old girl can't walk the streets? I mean, I want you to think about what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, no, no, because we've got too many violent offenders, right? So what can we do? What is one thing we can do? We can get the kids and keep them protected right now. Of course I'm telling the truth. I know what I'm talking about, because if you don't protect the kids, the monsters could possibly get them. And
okay, but wait. So wait. So these kids were in the park. So you're together. She wasn't. I'm talking about the New York case. So
okay.
that dispels the notion of what you're saying.
No,
it was a male and female. It was a male and female together in the park.
I get that, and I know all about the story. I was talking about the girl in the creek, but I'm telling you in general, kids that are like 13 right now, I think they have to just be protected. And it may not sound nice, okay, but when you got a bunch of thugs and people that don't give a crap about life, and they're killing our girls and our children.
Okay, but Ilona, I want you to think about this. How in the world are you going to stop a 12-year-old girl who's lured out by these animals? You know, girls like boys
from
too.
Where?
You know,
where was she lured out from? Where?
From her home. From her home.
The parents, but how can that happen? I mean, it would never happen.
Are you serious, Ilona? You think you can control a 12-year-old girl where she can't, where she's not going to go outside? So what happens when she goes to school and she's on her way home from school? I want you to think about what you're saying.
From school? You take them to school. You pick them up.
And what if mommy and daddy works? Are you listening to what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm listening. And you know what? You got to figure it out, because now the girl is dead, and it's going to keep happening, because right now we have to take a tough approach and protect the kids. That's how I feel.
Okay,
Sorry.
Let's go to Silas. Thank you. Let's go to Silas in Staten Island. Good morning, Silas. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, one, I'd like to answer her with, any child should be able to walk the streets. I used to travel on the trains and everything else as a kid. Never bothered. We got to take the animals, the subhumans, out of our society, not restrict our kids. First of all, you don't make excuses for these animals. you take them out. And second, when you were talking about, them not calling out the black community, one guy in particular, that quote from him told me, "Oh, the white man is keeping me down." I said, "Really? That's why you're not working?" I said, "I guess the white man missed Oprah. I guess he missed Obama. I guess he missed 50 Cent."
I like that. I like that, Silas. I like that.
In fact,
I like that.
They missed Dominic Carter, and guess what?
Right.
A white guy gave Dominic Carter a shot.
That's right, two white guys. Silas, I have to step in because Frank is here. No, I hear you. I hear you. Let's continue this perhaps Sunday night or Monday. And with me right now, Frank Morano, the other side of midnight. Frank, what do you have coming up?
Quite a bit. We have Ask Frank Anything for the first hour. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court with Eric Siegel. We'll talk music with singer Stephen Maglio. And I got to congratulate you on the terrific article in Barrett Media on the new 3 o'clock show. Well done.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Frank. That's very kind of you to say. Take no prisoners. I don't care if it's a national show I'm up against. I'm coming, and I'm coming for you.
Oh, I know.
Well, Frank Morano, the other side of midnight. Have a great weekend, folks, and I will see you again at 3 p.m. today. But keep it right here. Talk Radio 77 WABC.